All righty, good morning, everybody. We are officially live. I'm excited to have our very first pre-symposium panel. Essentially, what our pre-symposium panel does is it helps us get excited and ramp up for our Executive Symposium on March 30th, 2023, being held at Accenture. Topic is how to develop employees and retain outstanding performers during a recession. Today, we've got incredible pre-symposium panelists with us here today. We've got Elizabeth Davis, we've got Kris Torres, we've got Denisha Jenkins, and we're here to talk about what we've found to be effective for developing our employees during times of recession uncertainty, as well as what is a popular belief about leadership that you disagree with. And really what we're trying to do here is inspire incredible dialogue and discussion around things that maybe we've thought about or maybe haven't thought about from a leadership perspective, but that we should be thinking about. And so for this is for anyone who's a leader or wants to be a leader, or envisions themselves as a leader that essentially wants to get a new perspective, a fresh light as to what they can do to lead during these very interesting times that we're in. So before we kick it off, I'd love to have each one of our panelists introduce themselves. Elizabeth, do you mind kicking us off with an introduction?
Yeah, sure. My name is Elizabeth Davis. I'm a Vice President of Strategic Alliances and Partnerships at Prophix Software, which is based in Mississauga, Canada. Been in the technology space for over 10 years. Before that, I was an accountant for a Fortune 500 company for about 10 years. I'm a mom of 3 teenage boys who are 13, 15, and 18, based in the North Texas area. Deeply passionate about coaching and mentoring emerging leaders.
Very right. Awesome. Kris, how about you?
Yeah, so Kris Torres, I work for Accenture. I've been doing IT consulting or working in the IT field for over 20 years now. Also a mom based in North Texas. So I have 2 boys, a 4 and an 8-year-old. And I really love building high functioning, diverse teams to just create awesomeness for our clients.
Very cool. And Denisha, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Kardia Advisory Group. We are based here in Austin, Texas. I've been in the systems consulting and people space for 15 years. And so at my organization, within my organizations, we help organizations revitalize their identity to ensure that they are resilient culturally. And we do that through inclusive leadership.
Very cool. Awesome. So let's kick it off in no particular order in terms of who responds, but I'd be curious to know, we're in these interesting times of recession uncertainty. I think we can, I don't know if we can officially economically say we're in a recession now, but they're very fascinating times that we're in. Very different than where we were exactly 1 year ago today. And one thing that I kind of observed was that a lot of times, especially in the tech space, you'll see a lot of companies raising salaries or essentially giving high bonuses as a way to retain people. But now with things changing up quite frequently, there's a lot of change in terms of how perhaps we should be looking at leadership and developing our people during these interesting times. So I'd love to ask each of you, what have you found to be effective for developing teams, developing employees during these interesting times? Kris,
I guess I can. Yeah, I was like, I guess I can start. So, we have at Accenture, we have a ton of just training tools, right? We've got a lot of online platforms that you can do self-based training. You can kind of choose your journey. Doesn't really matter what you're wanting to learn. We've got a place to do that. What I found interesting though during these times is it's not necessarily about that. It's really about creating that sense of community. And I think through, we'll go back to even 2020 when the pandemic started, we all isolated, right? We all went to our homes and we social distanced and a lot of the thread of community really got difficult. And so even though we had all these training opportunities available and we had all of these growth opportunities and we had these great projects for people to work on, that thread of community got really hard, and you had to start being really intentional about how you built that community. So what I have found, and where I really had to grow as a leader too, was how do you build a sense of community when your people aren't together and you can't, it's hard to recreate the magic of being together virtually when you're not good at it and you're new to it and trying to figure that out. So we've started to build in those moments to help magic happen. So every week we have a water cooler 30 minutes, and it's come and go, to try and recreate virtually just the opportunity for people to get together and talk about whatever's on their mind. You know, I do a weekly office hours where I open my door for 30 minutes, and you know, it's kind of, it moves around a little bit sometimes, but you know, every other week, one week it's in person, the next week it's virtual. Every morning our team kicks off the morning together. There's about 65 of us, you know, in the central time zone ish. I'm going to say ish because we got some mountain time zoners and some people from California that join in, but roughly, you know, and we just, it's kind of what's interesting to you today, what's going on maybe in the world of Accenture. And my favorite aspect is anytime we have a birthday, we sing on Teams happy birthday to whoever's having their birthday that day. And it is both as awful as that sounds and amazing at the same time to have the entire, you know, kind of group sing and celebrate somebody's just being here. And you know, and then we get to celebrate all the accolades and the things that they're growing in. So when they get a new certification, or when they achieved a milestone, or when they're working on a, you know, a project, and they achieve something there, we get to celebrate that together. So so that retention part really has more to do not with those opportunities, but with the community that we're creating around that growth to help people feel supported and welcome and included.
I like that. That's cool.